Hey there, Pamela Steele, and I got a lovely deck in the mail yesterday that, from the first time I saw it, advertised on the Tarot Deck Creators group on Facebook, I went, "Oh my! I was really super interested because the title of the deck is the Tarot of the Divine Masculine, and having raised two sons and knowing how this works, I was really curious as to how Marco and Philip, oh, don't let me butcher their name, please. Um, I believe it's Vasich, Vasich. And this deck came all the way, I think, from Germany to me. And I'll tell you right now, when the box arrived yesterday, it looked like it had been routed through a gorilla cage of some really cranky gorillas who got totally choked about the whole idea and then tossed it out onto the interstate during rush hour. But hey, when I opened it, like thinking, there was this absolutely gorgeous, I don't think it's actual leather, but it feels like leather bound book. It's got that padded feel to it. It's hardbound and it's absolutely breathtaking. There is, if you hold it just right in the light, you can see there's a design under the design. It's phenomenal, and the design when you open the book, duh, is that. I mean, it's got this alchemical undertone to it. It's about the old gods, and this is the feelings I get, and I could be way off base, but it feels like old gods are talking. The old gods are really speaking. So, um, we'll get to the book in just a second. The cards themselves are really super easy to shuffle. They've got a matte finish to them. They've got gold numbering on them. Here and here. Can you see that? Well, sort of maybe. Anyway, I've gone through the deck, and then because I already had it open, then you gotta shuffle it, and then you gotta pull a few cards and say, hey, what have you got to tell me that's really important and really exciting? Now the box, get back to this. The box that they came in, if it wasn't for the fact that this is super sturdy and this book is super sturdy, I don't think that this deck would have made it to my house. I really don't. Um, Magnetic close, it's absolutely gorgeous. It's gold, and like the gold embossed, whatever you call it. I don't know what you call it. I'm too old for this kind of stuff. Um, the whole thing is highly decorative. Okay, the whole box, inside and outside, you just can't. It's total. It's a total class act all the way through. I've I've seen some really great presentations in my time, but this one is it. It feels very rich. It feels like it's going to last you through a very long time. Sometimes you'll see decks come and go, and I've always believed, and actually I've had this conversation with Christine Payne Towler, that a deck, when it's ready to be created, born, chooses its creator or creators, as the case is. And Marco and Philip did an amazing. There's no words for it. It's incredible what they've done here. And as the creation process moves along, you begin to understand that this is an entity in itself, and it has its own voice, and believe me, its own agenda. It will arrive when it's ready. It will say what it wants. And it's kind of like watching your children grow up and leave home. When a deck is ready to go out into the world, it's got its own language. And each deck has a specific, unique language unto itself. Some of them are very similar, like, Portuguese and Spanish and Latin. They all have the same root Latin base. But Each one of them is unique. And if you have the different dialects by the different regions, tarot is that way too. Tarot, Lenormand, depending on your protocol and whatnot. And this one here is definitely, if you are familiar at all with the Rider-Waite-Smith protocols, you will have no trouble at all reading this deck. It's phenomenal. Let me grab my glasses because I'm old and blind. As I was shuffling and playing, I didn't show you the backs, did I? Look at the back of these cards. They're completely reversible. It's at least a 320 GSM. They're a matte finish with the vibrancy is phenomenal on these. I just unbelievably how deep and rich, and no detail was left undone. I mean, from the furthest point back to the sky, the colors were chosen carefully, the clouds, the mountains, or the lack of mountains, the landscapes were done. And I read in the book that they're all oils, which I really admire because I love working in oils. I'm just too old and crippled up to do it anymore. But, okay, back to the thing. I pulled 3 cards out of the deck, and the first one was, I'm asking the deck, okay, what do I need to know about you? What are you going to tell me that is going to suck me in like you did? Okay, besides the fact that it's absolutely gorgeous and I love it, I got the Page of Wands, which means this is something new. This is something old that has been made new, okay? This is a message that involves since nothing is ever really brand new, it is a variant on an invention that is going to really change a lot of people's world, okay? The Page of Wands it's the fiery, let's get it going, let's do this kind of thing. And I really, when I saw it, I thought, oh my goodness, that's lovely. But then it dawned on me what I was looking at was the Page of Wands. And I've got to get past the artwork to start reading cards. And honestly, I was completely amazed at the fact that the layers that begin to show up, like the wisdom, the mountains in the background. You've got this gorgeous plant coming up, which is new life. You've got a youth and the peak of health, and you can feel the energy. He's got something to tell you. The peacock at his feet. It's the whole thing. It starts to talk about new opportunities and things that can come, but you've got to be watching for them, because if you bat your eyes and you sleep for a minute, you're going to miss them. So let's pay attention. The second card that came up, the Two of Swords. Now, I read swords as not conflict so much as shooting yourself in the foot because you're overthinking it. And the Two of Swords in this case says, don't overthink it. Just sit back, take a deep breath, and maintain that openness, that objectiveness, and let's see, for each, it's like that, for each action there's an equal and opposite reaction. Well, here's where the reaction comes in. Here's where the yes but, the other side of the story, the opposite side of the same coin kind of thing. All right. And then what I'm supposed to be looking for in this deck, which is kind of cool, is now, when I read court cards, I read kings as the logic behind the dream, okay? And with this particular king, it's keeping your feet on the ground. It's building on solid ground rather than just going out and throwing up whatever it is willy-nilly. That's got to do with the plans being made. That's got to do with you need to consider all sides before you look and leap. And this is the guy that tells you, okay, I got your back. This is not going to work. It's going to work. But your job is to stay focused. Your job is to find the strength. Bury your toes in the dirt if you have to, but find the strength inside. Connect to the earth and get it done. Okay? Anyway, it was really kind of cool. We should look at the book and see what it says. I really, really enjoyed this book. It's got this little ribbon in it. that you can mark your places, because if anybody bends a book page in my presence, they will lose their fingers and maybe an arm. Okay, so first of all, we got the Page of Wands. There we go, Wands, Page of, that was easy. And here's what's great about this book. Look at the illustrations taking up the whole side over there. It's all here. It's gorgeous. And okay, let's see. Okay, don't be fooled by my young and carefree look. Intelligence comes not always from experience or age. My opinion is to be asked in the questions of creation. My opinion is to be asked in the questions of creation, as I am an initiator of new ideas. Long term doesn't invite me though. Look at the barren mountains behind me. Yet the terrace where I am is abundant and full of life. I'm having trouble reading because I can't see. I find potential and beauty in the most unlikely places. It's really kind of cool. And you know what? For some reason, when I started to shuffle this deck, I usually read reversals, and I automatically flip them. I'll cut, flip, and shuffle. And this time I didn't, and I'm very glad I didn't, because this book doesn't offer reversals, which I find interesting. But that's okay. I mean, I'm sure you could use it. You read them if you wanted to. Okay, the second card, we've got the Two of Swords. Okay, that's not it. It's a really super easy book to find your way through, too. 3 and 2. On the top of a mountain, on the solitary beach, sits a veiled figure. Their hands are crossed, and the head turns towards the dark skies. The full moon illuminates the ocean of clouds. That's pretty cool. I mean, really, when I first glanced at it, it looked like water, but looking, it is. It is. It's an ocean. Oh, stop that. The ocean is clouds. And that's where I got that. Let's make sure we stay. Everybody gets equal time, in other words. King of Pentacles. I need to find the Pentacles. Oh, they're the way up here, right. I found it interesting, the order that the deck was placed in. Wands, Pentacles, and then Cups and Swords. But that's okay. I mean, it's this deck has its own rules. I can tell that real quick. The King of Pentacles. Get serious about your work. I'm the King of Pentacles. My land is at its peak. My people are living the golden age, but it took a great deal of determination and hard work to create it. I've come to success by persistence. I'm just like my lands, full of fertile energy, strong like a bull, virile and handsome. Oh, he is too, baby. Anyway, here's something else I wanted to mention. I noticed this one of the first things whenever I first opened this book. Forward on Painting and Tarot, the introduction, Major and Minor Arcana, Royal Arcana, Kingdom of Cups, Kingdom of Pentacles, Kingdom of Wands, Kingdom of Swords. Oh, we did start with Cups, right. Okay, the forward is by the mega talented, amazing, fantastic, charming, delightful, beautiful Stephen Bright. Yeah, you can tell I'm a fan, kind of, right? And he wrote, this is just the first paragraph. There's been a need for expanding perspective within the world of tarot for a long time. However, I am pleased to say that steps have been made in recent years to include more of us within its rich tapestry. Though we still have some ways to go, people of all genders, races, interests, and abilities are now able to see themselves reflected in the mirror we call the tarot. So, yeah, isn't that pretty cool? Really. He's taken, or they've taken, okay, when you look at, let me just try to explain this. You look at the Fool card, and you can tell at a glance, this is the Tarot's Fool. And you can see a lot of the Rider-Waite influence in it, okay? and the colors, everything about this is it just makes sense to me. But when you get to a card like the Magician, this is where I step back and went, oh, now that's interesting. This way. I'm trying to figure out how to do this. Okay. That is your Magician card in this deck. Now, is that, or is it not, absolutely exquisite? And thirdly, and maybe also, the deck comes with a little white book, which is kind of like a little handy, just take it as it is. And in there, I mean, it's got spreads too, but it's got the basics about all of the different cards in here too. So I cannot say enough good things about this deck. I am so thrilled to have gotten a copy of it. They've got a little extra card in there that thanks some their top 5 benefactors, because this was self-published. Great job. Whoever envisioned this really thought it through, and I am beyond honored to have had the opportunity to check it out. So thank you very, very much, guys and girls. And I hope you all go get yourself a copy of the Tarot of the Divine Masculine. I know you will not regret it. And it's, I think I gave you the website before, but let me just double check here and find my glasses again. God, I hate getting, well, I don't hate getting old, considering the alternative, it's great. Okay, it's vasicart.com. VASICHART.com, and it's Philip and Marco Vasic. I think I said that right. Anyway, okay, thank you so much. Enjoy, and I'm trying to this week work my way through the stack of decks that I've been gonna have a look at for the last 18 months, I think. Anyway, all of you, strength and honor.